Vanakkam, Namaste and blessings to everyone. This is Dr. Bhairavi Balasubramaniam PhD, the Sky Priestess. And we are in for one heck of a ride, especially in the first week of March 2019. There's so much going on. Venus is squaring Uranus right now. Venus is in late Capricorn. Uranus is in late 29 degrees Aries to be specific. Venus is then going to shift into Aquarius. We're also going to be seeing the start of Mercury retrograde at that pivotal 29-degree Pisces mark. We're also going to be seeing Uranus then shifting into Taurus and then squaring Venus in Aquarius, a different, same square, different energy, or rather same planets involved in the square, different energy of the signs. And of course, we're going to see this phenomenal new moon in Pisces conjunct Neptune and Vesta. That's a lot of stuff. Oh my God, that's a lot of stuff. But really, this is the moment of change that we have all been waiting for so long. And you know me, I don't exaggerate. I am excited by the possibilities that all of these alignments give us. But at the same time, I'm also mindful that they are challenging us to evolve in ways that we never even thought possible. So as with my videos, I want you to feel into this. Don't worry about the words, don't worry about the jargon, don't worry about who says what, just feel. Okay? So let's start with the whole Venus-Uranus thing. So right now it's between Capricorn and Aries. And then it's going to shift into Aquarius and Taurus. So what does Venus squaring Uranus actually mean, right? Venus looks at our embodiment. It looks at how we exist as material beings in this reality. It looks at our relationship with the feminine. Now, the feminine isn't just about women. The feminine exists in all beings, in all creation. It is an archetype, an archetypical aspect of greater spirit. You know, it's not limited. It is how we actually embody that feminine principle in what we are, how we exist, how we coexist. All of these questions come up. And Venus also talks about relationships, not just professional relationships and collaborations, but equally personal relationships. It's about love. It's about learning how to open yourself to another human being to create something. And it's about learning to find the harmony and sensuality and balance and joy that can come from it. So Venus rules all of these things. It's impossible to confine it in a nutshell. And when you have Venus squaring Uranus, what we're going to be seeing is that we're going to be asked to transform the way we feel about love, relationships, abundance, manifestation, wealth, all of these things. I mean, if you want to look it up, Venus is it is the ruler of both Taurus and Libra. And to get an idea of what she covers, look at both of those signs. But when Venus squares Uranus as it does now, everything changes. We're asked to look at our, the way we as individuals and as a collective have treated the feminine, the way we as individuals and a collective have treated money and institutions of abundance and wealth and what that means to the rest of the planet. We are transforming the way we think about embodiment. We are transforming the way we think about manifestation. And we are transforming the way we manifest it. People who do high-level energy work know right now that the usual things that we've done before aren't working in the same way because new channels, new possibilities, new symbols, new everything are appearing. Because this is the time where we rewrite our relationship with this planet. Now, I know a lot of people think that ascension means you go off somewhere and you leave. Think about it. We are all multidimensional light beings. Every one of us came here because some part of us said or felt that needed to be something done. Why are we talking about ascension in terms of getting away from this place? It is about deepening our relationship with spirit and understanding that this beautiful planet is one manifestation of a powerful lesson that you can't get elsewhere. And this is our time to rewrite the script of connection with the planet itself and all that exists on it. And it's a huge energy. And it's going to change in form and change in nature as Uranus enters Taurus and Venus enters Aquarius. So, and it's all happening in this first week of March. So we're actually going to be seeing the opening of new vibrations, channels, symbols, pathways, modalities of healing, spirit guidance that are going to be coming in and allowing us to go to a completely new level of manifestation. This is beautiful. This is pure. This is what we in the spiritual community have been waiting for. But it's not a magic wand at the same time. The problem with alignments that involve Uranus is that Uranus brings change. Change isn't always a happy thing. Change can be deeply uncomfortable when we resist it. When we have a very fixed idea of what a relationship looks like, something in that brings in something new is going to feel like walking on hot coals. When we have a very fixed idea of what wealth and abundance looks like, trying to shift to a new system that asks you to relate to the vibration of money differently is going to feel like someone just skewered you up and left you out to dry somewhere. It's not a comfortable alignment for a lot of people because a lot of people have very strong attachments to what they think the world is and how it operates. And there's no reason or need to blame anyone for it because we're kind of taught to think in boxes from the time we incarnate here. And hopefully changes in the larger way we parent and reparent and go on and inspire different generations are, eventually going to undo some of that programming-based damage. But that is a later question. But the more we hold on to old ideas, the harder it is for Uranus to do its job without having to create a lot of unwanted friction in making that change. I mean, a lot of you are likely to be having issues to do with the neck above, whether it's just really not knowing who you are anymore. For some people, it might be issues with the eyes, or the ears, or the bread, or of the brain, or the head. That became bread. And some of you might just be having the sense of who am I? What the heck is going on? All of these are also ways that Uranus and Aries forces you to come to an awareness, because our body is actually a lot smarter than our conscious mind. When we don't want to listen to what's coming in, the body is like, you know what, you're not going to pay attention. Bam, you're going to pay attention now. It's not a popular way of seeing our relationship with Greater Spirit, but our bodies know a lot more than we give them credit for, and they will make sure you take in this lesson one way or another. They're going to try and get your attention somehow. So if your body is feeling the need to do something up here, ask it, okay, you know what, I'm willing to listen. How can I manifest this experience in a way that isn't going to necessarily hurt? And hurt can be a great teacher, but if there is a gentler path that leads you to the same realization, why not try that instead? So as all of these alignments are coming to pass, I know I'm making this sound like this threshold moment in humanity's current, history or herstory with the planet, and it is, but it's not the end of the story. It's the beginning of the story. And it's a very interesting alignment because Mercury retrograde is about to start at 29 degrees Pisces, possibly the most karmically intense degree in the zodiac. So whilst we are trying to push through to this next level, all of the collective scripts from its conscious and the depths of the collective unconscious are coming up at us at the same time. All of the old spells, the old vows, the old ideals, the old ideas of what we had as an identity from lifetimes past are coming up for clearing right now. So, I'm not expecting most of you to be sailing through this, though if you are, well done. But there's just a lot of different aspects that are coming up for processing. And unless you're working at that level of consciousness all the time, it's going to feel a little overwhelming. So with Mercury at 29, about to start its retrograde at 29 degrees Pisces, whilst the shift of Venus into Aquarius is happening, whilst the shift of Uranus into Taurus is happening, as Mercury is there, it's saying, you know what, yes, we're at the precipice of change, but you kind of need to finish looking at your, old laundry first. You can't step fully into the new without acknowledging what was. So on the one hand, part of this energy is very forward moving and, using the analogy of time as a linear construct, which it isn't, but for heuristic purposes. Part of it is just looking forward, and the other part is saying, well, you know what, don't forget where you came from. So part of it is also in realizing that the conditioning that I've been talking about isn't just from this lifetime. It can also be from previous lifetimes. So this is actually a really good time to be looking at our past lives if you have a facilitator you trust. Sometimes when we are overwhelmed by certain ideas that don't really have much to do with our life, our experiences, we do need to look at the past life as a potential source of answers. Again, not something I would immediately ask people to do, because you can kind of then get fixated on that rather than the now. But sometimes it's just having the awareness that not all the baggage you carry come from the here and now. Sometimes it is enough to simply say, wherever this is coming from, I recognize that this is not the direction that I am in right now, and I ask that this aspect of my consciousness find the healing and find the resolution and find the integration that it requires, that is in alignment with my highest and deepest good and the highest and deepest good of all concerned. Sometimes it is saying a prayer like that, or working with a facilitator who works at this level. Just please bear in mind that because Mercury is in retrograde, it is very, very easy to misunderstand the messages that you're getting. It's very easy to romanticize what's going on. So think again. When you feel like, I know exactly what this means. Mercury retrograde says, you know what, you felt something, take a little time to decide what that actually means for you before going ahead and jumping into it. And we're going to have a couple of weeks of Mercury in retrograde. So we're going to have a little bit of time after receiving this bolt of energy with Uranus squaring Venus. We're going to have the time to actually work through it and to shed some of those layers of perception that we have imbibed for millennia before actually going with it with fresh eyes. That's the best way I can describe it. And on top of all of that, towards the end of the first week in March, we've also got this phenomenal new moon in Pisces. I see it's phenomenal because you're going to have the sun, you're going to have the moon, you're going to have Neptune, you're going to have Vesta, the facilitator, all together at the same time. It is vitally and pivotally important for all of us to align our spiritual evolution not with the scripts of the past, but with the energy of new consciousness that is coming in. And for us to fully embody and awaken to that consciousness, we need to recognize where it came from and not to romanticize it, and to realize that we can let those scripts go. The universe is very intelligent in what it does. It does not romanticize. We do. We tend to try to hold on to old ideas thinking that that was the golden age. Those were the great times of humanity or whatever species we came from. And the thing is that if those forms are no longer present on the planet, it means that they have had their time. People who work especially with past lives need to remember this very, very clearly. What was once does not mean it has to be here again. We can honor the past without having to repeat its mistakes. We can take knowledge and information and allow the planets to repackage it in ways that actually align with our consciousness now. So you need to be really, really careful when doing that kind of work, and to remember to hold that in mind. So that's probably the best way I can describe these alignments. Of course, I can give you really practical things that say, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. But you know what? I'm just going to let you feel into it. And as always, if you're feeling very overwhelmed by all of this energy, please seek out safe sources of support. Whether it's a facilitator, whether it's a friend, whether it's an organization that helps those in need, there is absolutely no shame in getting help if you feel that you really need to. Just remember to honor another person's time and energy, and they are right to choose if and how and when they want to do so. So yeah, it's probably as much as I can do on this video. I've just finished shifting house, so that's been a huge energetic shift for me. Managed to do something weird to my ankle, so I'm hobbling around on a cane, and I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing what life brings. And I urge all of you to do the same, though hopefully without hurting your ankles. Take care, lots of love, peace out.